My boyfriend said he wanted to get married and asked me to wear my wedding dress to the company holiday party. I thought he was finally going to marry me. I wore my most dazzling wedding dress, held flowers, and expressed my love in front of all the office employees. But his delicate female secretary suddenly rushed out and splashed coffee on me. "You shameless, ugly woman. Just because you landed a multi-million-dollar deal, you think you can covet my husband? You slut, I'll tear your mouth apart." My boyfriend, who always valued rules, didn't stand up for me. Instead, he used my violation of company rules as an excuse to give my project to the female secretary. For a moment, everyone looked at me with pity, thinking I would cause a scene. But I didn't make a fuss. I threw my ID badge to the female secretary. "So, you're the president's trophy wife. My apologies, this director position will be your wedding gift." What he didn't know was that my dad had forced this multi-million-dollar deal on me. Now that I, the person in charge, have resigned, he will not only fail to cooperate successfully but will also face a breach of contract due to the temporary change of person in charge. Not only will the company go bankrupt, but it will also face huge debts. Upon hearing this, my colleagues advised me one after another, "Ashley, don't be impulsive. You knew Mr. Williams had a girlfriend, and you still showed up in a wedding dress. This is just you not respecting yourself. Mr. Williams only punished you with one project and didn't even fire you. He's already being kind." Hearing this, I came to my senses and turned to look at my boyfriend, Tommy Smith. "Is this your real purpose?" Tommy Smith and I have had a secret relationship for 7 years. Every time I mentioned marriage, he always made various excuses to muddle through. I was wondering why he sent me a proposal message yesterday. Usually, at the office, he avoids suspicion with me. It would be a miracle if he didn't target me, let alone favor me. So, how could he propose to me at the company holiday party? Now, looking at his female secretary, Lisa Green, nestled in his arms, smiling triumphantly, I finally understood. The proposal was fake. He just wanted to use this opportunity to force me to make a mistake and then give the project to Lisa Green to gain experience. It's really hard on him to sacrifice my reputation and his, and ruin the company holiday party as the price for Lisa Green's future. As soon as I questioned him, a strange atmosphere filled the air, and everyone looked at Tommy Smith and me, puzzled. They felt that our relationship was not as simple as ordinary superiors and subordinates. Tommy Smith also noticed this. He tapped the table 3 times impatiently, his tone cold. "Amanda Thompson, is this the attitude you should have towards your boss? Everyone has seen your frivolous, disrespectful, and unloving behavior. Am I wronging you?" Tapping the table 3 times was our code. Every time he made this action, he was reminding me that he was about to say something unpleasant to me to avoid suspicion, and not to take it to heart. For the past 7 years, I have always wronged myself to save his face, being treated like a dog in front of people. If there hadn't been a contrast today with him favoring Lisa Green, I would have tolerated it. But why should I always be the one to endure, while Lisa Green can do whatever she wants? Years of pent-up emotions erupted at this moment. Just as I was about to slam the table and quit in dissatisfaction, Lisa Green took off her coat and was wearing a wedding dress. She took out a watch and handed it to Tommy Smith, her eyes filled with tears. "Chad, I bought this watch with all my savings. Although I will have to live on ramen for a while afterward, I don't care because I only want to give you the best, and you deserve the best. Chad, I love you. Will you marry me?" Everyone exclaimed in surprise, praising Tommy SM. It for having such a good life. Not only did the woman propose, but she also gave him a gift. But anyone could tell that it was just a watch worth $1,000. But Tommy Smith was moved to tears, smiling and nodding, with tears of emotion flashing in his eyes. "Tiffany, you are so thoughtful, but proposals should be done by us men. How can I let you spend so much?" As he spoke, he immediately transferred $200,000 to Lisa Green as compensation and asked someone to buy a diamond ring to propose again. The surrounding colleagues screamed enviously, cheering for their love. Only I couldn't smile. Didn't Tommy Smith say that there couldn't be office romances in the office, especially between superiors and subordinates? Every time I wanted to go public, he would use the boss has to set an example as an excuse to dismiss all my thoughts. I have wronged myself for 7 years for his career and ideals. But now, he agreed to her in public to avoid embarrassing Lisa Green, and he even wanted to prepare a proposal scene for her. Looking at their happy embrace, I suddenly realized. It turned out that all the reasons were just excuses. He just didn't love me. If you love someone, how could you not want to receive everyone's blessings? I silently put away the Rolls-Royce Phantom car key. Lisa Green sneered when she saw it. You dare to say you love Chad, only caring about buying yourself a beautiful wedding dress, but buying a fake key to fool him. Where do you get the nerve to try to climb up to Chad? Tommy Smith, wearing the watch Lisa Green gave him, looked at me with disappointment. He seemed to be saying, how could you be so perfunctory with our 7 years of relationship? Even my colleagues were speechless at my behavior, earnestly advising me, Ashley, even if you don't buy anything, it's better than buying a fake key, right? This is such an obvious lie. A fake key? I smiled, non-committal. They recognized that it was a Rolls-Royce car key but didn't believe I could afford it, so they assumed I bought a toy. They were right. Who proposes with gifts to the woman? It's just that he saw a video saying that if he could drive one in his lifetime, he would have no regrets. I bought it for him to fulfill his wish. But now, I don't want to give it anymore. Facing Lisa Green's ridicule, I was too lazy to explain. I took out a resignation form, filled it out quickly, and turned to leave. Tommy Smith was also seeing me like this for the first time and immediately chased after me. Seeing that there was no one around, he patiently explained to me, okay, you've been wrong today. But I only gave the project to Tiffany, and you still get paid. In the end, you didn't lose anything. I rejected the resignation report. You should rest well during this time and think clearly. You're a 35-year-old woman. Where else can you go if you leave the office? He looked at me, waiting for me to compromise. But before I could speak, he was called away by a phone call from Lisa Green. Watching his departing figure, I took out my cell phone and called Dad. Dad, stop the project. I've resigned. On the other end of the line, Dad said excitedly, okay, I'm glad you thought it through. I offered you the company, but you didn't want it. You insisted on suffering with a man. After listening to him nagging for a while, I hung up the phone and smiled bitterly, calling a taxi home. From a young age, because of my family's excellent financial conditions, everyone who approached me had deep ulterior motives. I didn't like this hypocrisy, so I left my hometown to study out of state, which is how I met Tommy Smith. He was with me before he knew my family background. I was always worried that revealing my identity would ruin our harmonious relationship, so I never revealed it. Until our company started to improve, I was about to tell him the truth and propose to him. But he talked to me first. He told me that he was very competitive and couldn't accept a partner who earned more than him. At that time, I faced 2 choices. The first choice was to break up, but we would still be friends afterward. The second choice was that I needed to transfer my shares and power to him, withdraw from the partnership, and be demoted to director. For the sake of love, I chose the latter. From then on, Tommy Smith's attitude toward me became better and better, and I became even more afraid to reveal my background. I didn't think much about it when I was in love, but now that I look at it from outside the chessboard, I realize that he wasn't necessarily really competitive back then. He just knew that I was easy to talk to, so he found a reason to swindle away all my property. When I realized he didn't love me, all his abnormal behavior had a reasonable explanation. Back home, I was about to pack my things when I suddenly remembered that this house was mine, and he should be the one to leave, so I stopped. I took out my cell phone and was about to have a good talk with Tommy Smith when he sent me a message. "Sorry, Ashley, I have a last-minute whiskey gathering to attend. I can't have dinner with you tonight." I scrolled up, and there were many such replies. Before, Tommy Smith would often have dinner with me after getting off work. Since Lisa Green appeared, his activities have become more and more frequent, and he often comes home late, making the house increasingly deserted. However, that's not what I care about. Knowing that he wouldn't be back for a while, I simply didn't wait. I took a shower and was about to go to bed when my cell phone kept ringing. After I opened it, I saw that Lisa Green had sent a video in the workplace group. The video showed Tommy Smith enthusiastically blocking whiskey for her at the dinner table. Lisa Green replied with a cheerful smile, with noisy sounds in the background. "Mr. Williams, you blocked whiskey for me again today. You are such a good boss." Everyone envied her sparkling eyes. But only I knew that Tommy Smith had a very serious stomach problem and couldn't drink alcohol. I put a lot of effort into studying recipes and making herbal tea for him to nourish his stomach, but it never seemed to get better. I thought it wasn't treated properly and was still asking people everywhere for connections. But I never thought that the real reason was that he was blocking whiskey for Lisa Green behind my back. Tommy Smith didn't care about his physical condition at all and happily responded in the group, "Don't thank me. This is what I, as the boss, should do. Besides, a man must protect a woman." I didn't bother to look at their back and forth replies, directly left the group, pulled up the covers, and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, my cell phone suddenly rang. I groggily answered it, but Lisa Green's voice came from the other end. "Ashley, Chad drank alcohol. Come pick him up and take him home." I woke up instantly, but I was too lazy to pick him up or reply, so I hung up the phone and continued to sleep. I don't know how much time had passed when the door was suddenly kicked open. The quilt on my body was also lifted, and a cold wind blew, making me wake up again. I looked up and met Tommy Smith's angry eyes. "Amanda Thompson, I'm drunk. Why didn't you come to pick me up? Is it because you never loved me?" Listening to his head-on accusation, I felt inexplicable. Before, I was worried about his safety and always asked about his schedule and wanted to pick him up. But not only did he not appreciate it, but he also blamed me for being controlling and making him lose face in front of his brothers. Now that I satisfy him and give him freedom, he says I don't love him. It's really funny. I was too lazy to pay attention to him and prepared to grab the quilt and continue to sleep. But Tommy Smith got angry and directly took the quilt away and threw it on the floor. "Amanda Thompson, haven't you caused enough trouble? You deliberately wore a wedding dress to propose at the company holiday party and made me lose face, but I didn't say anything. What are you acting up for?" I suddenly turned my head to look at him. "Tommy Smith, didn't you send me a message saying that you were going to propose at the company holiday party and ask me to wear a wedding dress? Why are you pretending to be stupid now?" Tommy Smith was stunned and turned to look at Lisa Green. I also followed his gaze and saw that Lisa Green's face was frighteningly pale. Seeing her reaction, we immediately understood. Lisa Green sent the proposal message. Thinking of the humiliation during the day, I snorted coldly. "You directed and acted well. You're a drama queen. It's a waste of talent if you don't go into show business." Lisa Green bit her lip aggrievedly, as if she were the victim. As soon as he saw her like this, Tommy Smith felt so sorry for her that he immediately came out to smooth things over. "Okay, say less." "She's just..." I interrupted him and directly said, "She's just young and doesn't understand things. She's doing this for my good. She's just a little willful and has no malice." "Do you have anything else to add?" Seeing that I had finished his words, Tommy Smith's face also looked a little ugly. It's no wonder I said it so fluently. Every time Lisa Green caused trouble, Tommy Smith would find all sorts of reasons to defend her. He indulged her in making mistakes again and again, tolerating her without any bottom line, but forcing me to compromise. I've had enough of this kind of life. Tommy Smith, let's break up. I said seriously, but Tommy Smith widened his eyes, wondering, it's just a little thing, do you have to break up? On the side, Lisa Green began to act weak. Ashley, I was just kidding. If you can't take a joke, I'll apologize to you. But don't involve Chad, he loves you. Tommy Smith, who was originally prepared to argue with me, stopped immediately and looked at Lisa Green with heartache. What's there to apologize f? Or, why wrong yourself? If she wants to break up, then so be it. I was already numb. The rules he listed for me had never existed in front of Lisa Green. After seeing what he looked like when he wholeheartedly loved someone, I realized that he had never loved me. He didn't even have the empathy for me that he had for strangers. Before I could speak, Tommy Smith looked at me with disappointment. It's good that you brought it up yourself. I wanted to say it a long time ago. Your status and mine are different now. You're no longer worthy of me. I only tolerated you again and again because of your contributions in the past. Now you're taking advantage of my favor, and I don't want to wrong myself anymore. Get out! Get out of my house now! Tommy Smith became more and more agitated and was about to kick me out of the house. I sneered and didn't humor him. This is my house. You're the one who should get out. Tommy Smith turned his head to look at me in shock, not daring to believe that such ruthless words were coming from my mouth. Lisa Green's face also changed when she heard this, and she opened her mouth to accuse me. Ashley, I know I shouldn't say these words, but I really can't help but scold you. You let Chad support you for 7 years, and now that you don't need him, you're kicking him out. You're not a good person. They knew better than anyone what the truth was. But after Lisa Green said that, Tommy Smith felt wronged, forgetting that he was the one who had never agreed to get married. He stubbornly looked at me, his face gloomy. Move out then. If I walk out of this door today, there will be no chance of reconciliation between us. I watched him put his hands behind his back but not make any movements. I knew he was waiting for me to apologize and win him back. But I ignored his little thoughts and directly helped him move his things out. Tommy Smith's eyes turned red with anger, and he grabbed the love token we made together and smashed it on th. Ground. I don't want any of this garbage. The couple's porcelain doll shattered all over the floor. I nodded and threw our group photo directly into the trash can. You're right, throw it all away. My actions completely angered Tommy Smith. He pointed at me, his finger trembling with anger. Amanda Thompson, you wait. I'm not only going to fire you, but I'm also going to blacklist you in the industry. Don't even think about getting a share of the project. What he didn't know was that I didn't care about any of this. It wasn't until I kicked them all out that the world became quiet. Immediately afterward, I received a notification on my cell phone that my resignation was successful. Not only that, but Tommy Smith did what he said about blacklisting me. Not only did he spread rumors in the industry that I was forcing the boss to marry me, but he also maliciously edited the scene of me wearing a wedding dress at the company holiday party and posted it online. My personal contact information was exposed. Soon, my phone was flooded with calls. Gold digger. Just because you have some outstanding business skills, you have the nerve to try to marry the boss. You've watched too many domineering president novels, thinking that any trash can climb to a high branch. She's not even worth more than 200 from head to toe, and she still publicly forced him to marry her at the company holiday party. Does this kind of poor person even deserve it? Overwhelming abuse poured toward me. Colleagues wanted to defend me, saying that I wasn't usually like this, but they were quickly drowned out by people's curses. I didn't defend myself online but went to the office with a team of lawyers the next day. When Tommy Smith saw me coming, he thought I was here to admit my mistake and snorted coldly, "You were quite tough yesterday. Do you know to beg for mercy today?" Lisa Green fiddled with her director ID badge, looking at me triumphantly. "I still recognize your business ABI. Lighty. As long as you're willing to kneel down and kowtow to me to apologize, I'll let you continue to be a team member in my group and give you a chance to start over." Tommy Smith smiled contemptuously. "Are you worthy? The office is short of a toilet cleaner. If you need a job, beg me, and I can reward you with one." After they finished speaking, they burst out laughing together. I didn't say anything, but the lawyers standing behind me warned them to speak properly. Tommy Smith just glanced at the team of lawyers behind me and laughed so hard that he bent over. "Amanda Thompson, if you want to split the project money, just say so. Why hire so many actors? Do you think a yellow-haired kid from the street with dyed black hair and a suit is a lawyer?" I smiled. "Do you think that project can continue?" Tommy Smith was stunned. "What do you mean?" I took out the contract and slammed it on the table. "Let me introduce myself again. I am Amanda Thompson, the heir of the Sunshine Group. Due to your midterm change of person in charge, our side states that the contract is terminated." Lisa Green directly snatched the contract away, tore it to shreds without even looking at it. She threw the scraps on my face with contempt. "There are many people with the surname Zhao. What are you pretending to be? Get out!" Tommy Smith looked at the cheap clothes I was wearing and looked even more disdainful. "Stop pretending. I'll say I'm the son of the world's richest man. Anyone can say anything with just their mouth. I advise you to focus on your work and stop thinking about these opportunistic things." Even the colleagues who always stood by me smiled wryly, thinking that my trick of pretending to be a rich man was too naive. Tommy Smith was about to kick me out when the receptionist suddenly ran over, anxiously saying, "Mr. Williams, something bad has happened. The official Sunshine Group has publicly announced that they are terminating the contract with us and demanding that we pay 10 times the liquidated damages. They will also investigate your defamation of Sunshine Group's heir, Amanda Thompson." The reporter groups have surrounded the office building. Tommy Smith looked at me in disbelief. Recalling the 7 years he had been with me, he sneered and looked back and forth between me and the receptionist. "Amanda Thompson, you're really good at this. You even bribed the receptionist. I just don't understand. What good will you get from causing this scene?" The receptionist was stunned and hurriedly explained, "Mr. Williams, it's not like this." He wanted to explain, but Tommy Smith interrupted him. "Okay, I've been so good to you, and you're actually betraying me. Pack your things and get out. Our company doesn't keep ungrateful people." Lisa Green would not let go of such a good opportunity and jumped out to insult me. "Amanda Thompson, don't you look at your poor appearance? Where do you get the nerve to pretend to be from a wealthy family?" The colleagues didn't speak, but there were also many sycophants who followed Lisa Green to step on me. "That's right, she can't even afford a cup of milk tea on weekdays, but now she's pretending to be rich." Facing their ridicule, I was too lazy to pay attention and turned to leave. The receptionist cried completely, "Mr. Williams, you'll know if you look at your cell phone." How could I lie about such a thing? After she said that, everyone calmed down and thought about it, realizing that she made sense, and they took out their cell phones to take a look. There were many comments scolding me, but the situation had already reversed, and several messages topped the charts. "Shocking! The woman who forced marriage in a wedding dress is actually the daughter of the Sunshine Group. Sunshine Group announces termination of contract. Tommy Smith is about to face $100 million in compensation." What kind of holy being is the man who rejected the Sunshine Group heiress's proposal? After a series of messages popped up, everyone stood there dumbfounded. Even Lisa Green couldn't help swallowing her saliva. "No way, Chad, she's really a second-generation rich person. Tommy Smith was also confused. He had been with me for 7 years, and I had never shown a very wealthy side. The food and clothing I usually wore were very ordinary, and I never pursued luxury items. My most expensive asset was that large house downtown. Tommy Smith didn't have time to think about the reason and hurriedly chased after me. But I had already taken the elevator downstairs, and he only saw my figure when he chased to the first floor. Ashley, He was about to explain something when he suddenly saw a group of reporters surrounding him. Mr. Williams, did you know Amanda Thompson's identity as a second-generation rich person? It is said that Amanda Thompson took out a Rolls-Royce to propose that day, but you rejected her and chose another woman. You guys are really in love. Hearing this, Tommy Smith's heart was bleeding. At that time, everyone suspected that the car key was a fake, and he was no exception. Now that he thinks about it, he wants to slap himself in the face. He saw me being escorted away by the lawyers and wanted to chase after me, but he was firmly blocked by the reporter group. Online public opinion began to ferment. Before, everyone didn't know my identity, so they thought I was climbing to a high branch to marry into a wealthy family and ridiculed me. Now that my true identity was revealed, public opinion instantly reversed, and everyone was scolding Tommy Smith for not knowing what's good for him. I sat in the car, watching the live broadcast of Tommy Smith being surrounded, without saying a word. Facing the reporters' questions, Tommy Smith didn't know what to say. At this moment, with the reporters' exclamations, the third person in this incident, Lisa Green, appeared. She was also surrounded without surprise. Lisa Green looked at Tommy Smith with concern. Facing the media's questions, she sighed and said, "No matter what, I have to tell the truth and restore Mr. Williams's innocence." Tommy Smith immediately turned to look at her, his eyes full of sorrow and reluctance. He was afraid that Lisa Green would tell the whole truth and be cyberbullied, so he gritted his teeth and said in sincere words, "That's right, I knew from the beginning that Amanda Thompson was a second-generation rich person. But is money necessarily the first standard for choosing a spouse? I will only be with someone because I love them, and it has nothing to do with whether they have money or not." His words once again reversed public opinion, and many people supported his generosity, admired him, and supported him. But only I knew that he was just worried about Lisa Green taking responsibility. Once, I made a small mistake at workplace, and I just needed him to give me some comfort. But he coldly rejected me. "Amanda Thompson, know your mistakes and correct them. Admit your mistakes and don't let me look down on you." Later, he directly pointed out my mistake in the office and severely punished me as a warning to others. From then on, I worked diligently and cautiously, so that he couldn't find fault. I thought he was like that to everyone. But Lisa Green made him break all the rules. When Lisa Green made a mistake, he would find excuses for her, saying that she was still young, just arrived, and didn't understand things. Now, Lisa Green herself wanted to admit her mistake, but Tommy Smith wouldn't allow it, just because he was afraid that she would be cyberbullied. But when he pushed me out, he didn't worry about this at all. I shook my head. Love is a magical thing, making Tommy Smith become unlike himself. Just thinking about it, the door suddenly opened. Tommy Smith came in with Lisa Green. I suddenly remembered that after kicking them out yesterday, I forgot to change the password. At this moment, Tommy Smith was very harassed, his hair messy. He looked at me with resentment. "Amanda Thompson, I've been with you for 7 years, you've kept me in the dark." I looked at him strangely. "Didn't you tell the media that you already knew my identity?" After being mocked by me, Tommy Smith couldn't save face and glared at me with resentment. "Don't pretend here, don't you know what I mean?" After he finished speaking, seeing that I didn't respond, he changed his words himself. "Forget it, what's done is done, I won't hold it against you." Without waiting for me to reply, he pulled Lisa Green and sat on the sofa as if nothing had happened. Seeing that he was still pouring tea for Lisa Green, I knew he wasn't here to talk to me. I frowned and directly stated the topic. Didn't we break up? What are you doing back here? Tommy Smith's pouring action stopped, and he looked up and glared at me. This time he didn't scold me, but just complained, I was just joking. Didn't you hear it? A joke? No wonder he would think it was a joke. After all, he had always been in the dominant position in this relationship. Every time we encountered a disagreement, he would use breaking up to force me to compromise. This trick was always effective for him. After all, I used to love him so much that I was willing to give up everything for him. So this time, he thought so too. But he forgot that this breakup was initiated by me. Tommy Smith didn't take it seriously, thinking that things had already passed. He picked up the cake that was on the floor. I was busy with work before on your birthday and didn't have time to accompany you. I'll make it up to you today. This was his usual routine. Every time he made me angry, he would buy me food and give me a step down to ease the relationship. In the past, I always felt that since we had to continue living together anyway, I would compromise. But now, I don't plan to give him face and was about to interrupt him when Tommy Smith quickly opened the cake. But it did. And say anything about me. Instead, it read, Happy 26th birthday, Lisa Green. It suddenly occurred to me that I had seen Lisa Green's resume, and today was her birthday. If I hadn't made such a scene, Tommy Smith would have been celebrating Tiffany's birthday with her right now. Chad was about to put the candles on when he saw the words and panicked. He hastily explained, the bakery staff must have made a mistake. I'll order a new cake right away. Lisa Green, whose birthday party was canceled, was already resentful. Seeing Chad on his cell phone ordering a cake, she couldn't help but mutter to me, so pretentious. It's just a cake. What kind can't you eat? When I was little, I lived a hard life. I didn't even know what a cake was like. Tommy Smith opened his mouth, intending to persuade me as well. I waved my hand. Just go. I don't want a belated birthday. Tommy Smith was stunned, thinking I was angry about the birthday cake. He raised an eyebrow. I already said the clerk made a mistake, and I apologized and ordered you a new one. Do you have to make a scene? He always twisted my words. I didn't waste any words with him and simply carried their cake to the door, gesturing for them to leave. Amanda Thompson, what are you doing? Can't we talk this out? Tommy Smith and Lisa Green were still rambling on, so I kicked them out, closed the door, and locked it. Tommy Smith was still trying to open the door with the code from outside. I heard Lisa Green's voice, Chad, she's so ungrateful. You've already apologized. What more does she want? Tommy Smith tried a few more times. Seeing that he really couldn't open the door, he finally gave up. Don't worry. She's just angry right now. She'll be fine in a little while. Lisa Green asked him why he was so sure. Tommy Smith smiled, acting like he knew me inside and out. If she had given up, she would have gone home a long time ago. She wouldn't have stayed here. Listening to them talk, they walked away. I smiled. Tommy Smith seemed to have misunderstood something. I wasn't staying here for him. My childhood sweetheart, David Brown, was coming here on a business trip soon, and our families wanted us to go home together. That night, David Brown's plane landed, and I drove to pick him up. It had been a long time since I had seen him, so I invited him to dinner at a nearby restaurant to talk about future plans. David Brown had his own career, and I had failed in my business venture and could only return to the office to inherit the family business. Hearing me say this, he glared at me unhappily. We were chatting and laughing as we ate, but we forgot that my previous drama had been too popular. A passing netizen recognized me and posted a video of me online. More and more people gathered, but none of them disturbed us. Until Tommy Smith tracked us down to the restaurant. Seeing me chatting and laughing with David Brown, he was furious and rushed over, accusing me, Amanda Thompson, how could you be eating with another man behind my back? Coincidentally, an online celebrity was live streaming nearby and broadcasted this scene. I noticed, but I didn't care. I had nothing to hide. Facing Tommy Smith's accusation, I sneered, Mr. Williams, didn't you tell everyone that I was the one who pursued you, and you already rejected me to my face? We have nothing to do with each other. What gives you the right to interfere in my affairs? Tommy Smith was stunned. He was so angry that he didn't realize what he was saying. And this scene was being broadcast, and netizens were questioning his inconsistent words and actions. Not only that, but people in the restaurant were also gossiping. Didn't he say he didn't like her? Now he has the nerve to act like her boyfriend. Yeah, I heard he agreed to someone else's proposal. What's he doing now? Is he trying to have his cake and eat it too? Exactly. 1 second he said he didn't like Amanda Thompson even if she was rich, but now she's just eating with a guy, and he's getting involved. David Brown smiled and was happy to play along. He stood up and said seriously, Tommy Smith, is it? Nice to meet you. I'm Amanda Thompson's husband. You can call me Mr. Lee. I don't care what she does outside, but you're causing a scene in front of her legal husband. Don't you think that's a bit much? Tommy Smith was completely dumbfounded when he heard this. He was so anxious that he forgot where he was. He looked at me in shock. Amanda Thompson, you're actually married and you hid it from me? We've been dating for 7 years. How could you be such a bitch? All these 7 years, your family has money, but you made me suffer with you. Now you're even hiding your marriage from me. What about you is real? Hearing his accusations, everyone around understood what was going on. David Brown smiled at me. Amanda Thompson, I've helped you get justice. When are you going to thank me? Hearing David Brown say this, Tommy Smith finally realized he had been tricked. Seeing the mocking expressions around him, he became even more enraged and pointed at me, yelling, when did you start playing these tricks? You won't rest until you ruin me, will you? At this moment, as the truth spread, the online opinion was one-sided, and everyone was scolding him. Tommy Smith saw this and, with red eyes, asked me to explain. I ignored him. He reaped what he sowed, and it was time for him to experience cyberbullying himself. David Brown and I finished eating and were about to leave when the police arrived. Are you Tommy Smith? You're suspected of spreading rumors. Come with us. Tommy Smith and Lisa Green were both taken away by the police, and I waited for my childhood sweetheart to finish his work before going home together. I took over the family business and was busy every day. Tommy Smith and Lisa Green were also forced to apologize publicly online. Hello everyone, I am Tommy Smith. I apologize for the rumors that have been circulating recent. TLY. Amanda Thompson and I were a couple for 7 years. During the proposal, Lisa Green used my cell phone to send Amanda Thompson a message, saying that I would propose publicly and wanted her to attend in a wedding dress. I was unaware of this, so I rejected her and took her project. Afterwards, we spread inappropriate remarks, misleading everyone to believe that she was forcing me to propose in public. This has had a negative impact on everyone, and we are very sorry. As Tommy Smith and Lisa Green's apology letters were released, the truth finally came to light. They were immediately subjected to cyberbullying. Everyone could see that although Tommy Smith was with me, he had always been thinking about Lisa Green. Everyone despised his two-timing behavior. But before he could deal with the cyberbullying, a new round of events began. The previous cooperation with my office was terminated, and he had to pay 10 times the penalty. Tommy Smith was puzzled. Is Amanda Thompson deliberately targeting me? Can you let me see her? Can I talk to her myself? I didn't negotiate with him again and instead handed the work over to the legal team. The lawyer who had been insulted by Tommy Smith earlier pushed up his glasses and said with a smile, "Mr. Williams, please see clearly. You violated the contract by changing the person in charge first, so we propose to terminate the contract, which is reasonable and legal. Just pay the compensation obediently, or we can talk in court." Tommy Smith was unwilling to pay the compensation, but he couldn't defy the law. His office was about to be dissolved as a result. I remembered the kindness of my former colleagues, so I offered to acquire the office. When I walked into the office again, my colleagues hung up banners to welcome me back. A colleague who had advised me before patted me on the shoulder. "Ashley, you and Mr. Williams hit it so well. We worked with you for 7 years, and we didn't see the relationship between you TW. Oh at all, but we knew you had a crush on Mr. Williams." Yes. Love is passionate. How could others not notice? Unless he never loved me at all. Someone else looked at me with emotion. "Ashley, I didn't understand your actions before, but now we all understand. If we proposed to our girlfriend and were misunderstood, we would definitely be pissed too." I exchanged a few words with them. Although I acquired the office, I didn't have much energy to manage it. I came back this time just to see old friends. As I was being escorted out, I saw Tommy Smith. He had nothing left at this moment. The moment he saw me, he rushed up ecstatically. "Ashley, I've broken up with Lisa Green. Let's get back together, okay?" I raised my hand, and the bodyguard immediately rushed forward to stop him. I smiled at him. "Tommy Smith, didn't you say you didn't like people who earned more than you? What, do you like them now?" Tommy Smith was stunned and recalled all the things he had done to deceive me of my shares and money. He smiled awkwardly. "That was when I was young and ignorant. Now I'm sensible. Can you give me another chance?" I replied coldly, "There will be no more chances, Tommy Smith. Goodbye forever." With that, I got into my fancy car and, ignoring his obstruction, drove away.